Now on KGW News, new body cam video shows the confrontation with a shoplifting suspect that got a Vancouver police officer charged with assault. Plus,
I just saw her body stiffen and I didn't know what was happening.
A family pleads for answers after a bullet struck their 2-year-old daughter. And later,
the sooner you get people to care, the sooner that you have a chance of them surviving.
more ambulance delays leave patients stranded. The security guard attacked in downtown Portland, who had to find his own ride to the hospital. And we start tonight with criminal charges filed against a Vancouver police officer. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers. The officer tased a shoplifting suspect, then exposed him and made a graphic threat. Our Catherine Cook is live in the newsroom with the details. Catherine.
Brittany, Vancouver police tonight released copies of body camera and surveillance video from the incident. A warning, the language is graphic and the video is hard to watch. We're showing it to help provide context to the situation. The Vancouver officer is now charged with 4th-degree assault.
Hey, go ahead and stop for me. Come on.
Well, where you grabbing me?
Yep, I told you you're under arrest.
Vancouver police body cam video shows what happened outside this Vancouver Walmart on May 21st. The man in the gray hoodie was suspected of shoplifting from the store. In the parking lot, the two officers on scene say he refused to stop for them. One grabbed his arm and brought him to the ground. About 30 seconds later, before they could handcuff him, the man jumps up. Police say the suspect punched one officer in the face and kicked another in the chest during the struggle. Once they got him back on the ground, Officer Andrea Mendoza deployed a taser on the suspect's back. Then the video shows Officer Mendoza pulling down his pants and threatening to use the taser on his genitals.
Knock it up or I'll do it in your nuts. I'm dead. I'm dead.
The suspect's shirt winds up over his face, and you can hear him tell officers he can't breathe.
I'm gonna help you.
Right after the incident, doctors evaluated the suspect at the hospital. He was then booked on 3rd-degree assault and theft charges. Vancouver's police chief wouldn't comment further today, but did release this video statement.
The actions of the officer who deployed the taser in this video are disturbing. I want to emphasize to the community that my expectation is that at all times, our personnel serve the public with professionalism, compassion, and respect.
While charges were filed more than 2 months after the incident, the chief says this use of force case was flagged by his supervisor just days after it happened, as soon as they reviewed the video. The officer was then put on administrative leave, and the Clark County Sheriff's Office started investigating. They then referred the case to the prosecutor's office, which filed the 4th-degree assault charge this week. Late tonight, the union that represents Vancouver officers released a statement calling the charges baseless. They say Officer Mendoza was just doing her job, and after being assaulted by the suspect, had only a few reasonable options left to get him to comply. Brittany.
All right, Catherine, thank you. Beaverton police have identified the suspect who shot and critically injured a Washington County Sheriff's deputy. He's 34-year-old Christopher James Graves. Court documents show Graves was being evicted for not paying May rent or utilities. This all started Wednesday morning at the Forest Rim Apartments in Tualatin. Authorities say Graves shot at deputies as they tried to serve him the eviction notice. One deputy was shot multiple times and is still in the hospital today. The others were not hurt.
I heard shouting. It was pretty bad, you know. I heard shouting, I heard banging, I heard, you know, then the next thing you know, a few seconds later, I heard 3 gunshots go off, and then I heard 3 more almost immediately after.
About 2 hours after the shooting, Graves was found dead inside his apartment. It's still unclear if he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound or return gunfire from law enforcement. Tonight, parents of a 2-year-old share a heartbreaking and traumatic experience. Their daughter struck by a falling bullet at a 4th of July celebration in Independence. Since then, they say that their family is forever changed, and now they're pleading for the person responsible to come forward. Alma McCarty met up with the couple at a park in Albany where they shared the disturbing story. Alma.
Yeah, and Brittany, Samantha and Zach are not sharing their last name nor their daughter's name, and we are hiding their identities because they fear for their safety. While their toddler survived, it is recovering. The memories of what was once a favorite family holiday are now tarnished as they replay the terror of those moments over and over again. A warning, this may be disturbing to some viewers.
On a holiday like the 4th of July, what better place to celebrate than the town of Independence, Oregon?
You know, it's so safe and that'll be great. And we were having a really nice day together.
Samantha and Zach took their 2-year-old daughter for a day full of fun, knowing she'd especially love the fireworks display, having seen the spectacle a year prior.
She just went nuts. She was like every, 2 seconds, wow, wow, just like over and just a little 1-year-old, tiny voice, wow.
But this year, on the walk back to the car, something struck the child sitting in her wagon on Monmouth Street between 2nd and Main.
I just saw her body stiffen and I didn't know what was happening. Once she got her breath back, she started to scream, and I've never heard her scream like that before.
Samantha recalls the next moments, a nurse running over to help, a frantic dash to the car, the ride to the hospital.
They got her back right away and started working on her. And as they were tearing her clothes off to get access to everything, the bullet fell out of her pajama pants. And the way that it hit the bed, it replays in my nightmares.
A bullet from shots fired into the air rained down and hit her daughter in the leg, just above the knee.
And they broke her spirit and they traumatized our family. And it's not possible to put into words what we've been feeling since then.
Independence police are actively investigating what they're calling the negligent discharge of a firearm. No arrests at this time. These parents, still reeling from the incident, hope someone will step up and take responsibility for their actions in order for them to feel safe again.
Shooting into the air in a crowded city, even if you think you were towards, the end, city limits or whatever, puts everybody around you within miles in immediate and unpredictable peril.
They're deadly weapons. They can be used safely, and if they're used safely, no one gets hurt. If you're stupid with it, you're going to hurt someone, you're going to kill someone.
Samantha and Zach are working with officers to get answers in this case, asking anyone with information to come forward. This incident happened just after 10:30 p.m. on July 4th. The family is also advocating for gun safety, especially training, hoping to spread the word that something that might seem harmless is reckless, dangerous, and deadly. Brittany.
It's just negligence there, and you just feel for that family. Thank you so much, Alma. Well, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Portland Fire is mopping up a brush fire in Northeast Portland. This is video from the scene on Marine Drive just west of I-205. That fire started just before 9 and was extinguished and contained within an hour. Crews are now mopping up hot spots and trying to figure out how it started. No asbestos has been detected in samples taken from debris left by the Kmart fire in Northeast Portland. That's according to the EPA and Oregon Department of Environmental Quality. The EPA says 11 debris samples and 16 air samples tested negative for the harmful chemicals. Officials are still advising, though, that you take precautions if you're cleaning up debris in your neighborhood. That includes wearing a mask, picking it up with disposable gloves, and gently soaking it before placing it in a garbage bag. Good news when it comes to affordable housing in the state. Oregon Housing and Community Services say they've surpassed their goal to fund 25,000 affordable rental homes. OHCS said that that's 5 times as much as last year, where only 5,000 units were funded. This comes after the Oregon Stability Council approved the most recent funding awards earlier this month. Today, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek signed several bills related to housing and homelessness in the state. Some highlights include more than $100 million in funding for shelter and housing services and $55 million in rental assistance. House Bill 3395 aims to encourage affordable housing construction by easing some zoning restrictions. One of the bills also caps annual rent increases at 10%. Before, the law allowed for raises of 7% plus the rate of inflation. As for other passed bills, including the pump your own gas bill, a lot of people are following that one. Tomorrow is the deadline for the governor to announce any vetoes. Any unsigned bills that are not vetoed would become law.